Hi, and welcome to Old Time Knowledge. Well, it's nighttime. I've been on the go today, but I mixed something up earlier. I did record it so I can show you that I'm going to be baking right now, and it's oatmeal cookies. Classic, delicious, perfect oatmeal cookies. These oatmeal cookies don't have raisins in them. They don't have nuts in them. You can add those things if you want. If I want an oatmeal cookie, I just want a straight up oatmeal cookie. This is so good. The dough is amazing. You're not supposed to eat cookie dough. It has raw eggs in it. But I don't care. I eat cookie dough anyway. I always have to test the cookie dough. In any case, this cookie dough, any cookie dough really, works better when you freeze it. Not freeze it. Well, you can freeze it. Refrigerate it first, let it get nice and cold, and then bake it. I've got my oven on 350 degrees. Why do you do that? Because when you refrigerate your cookie dough, the fat solidifies again, and it will just take time when it's baking in the oven. I don't know, it's some kind of baking magic, but your cookies have a chance to brown more on the outside. Then they can be kind of tender on the inside if you go ahead and take them out, or you can bake them a little bit more and they'll be crispy, great to dunk in milk. But I'm telling you, these cookies are the best, the very best cookies. So stick with me and we'll get right to it. Alrighty, first we need a cup of butter. You want it softened so that it's about room temperature so that it'll be easy to mix in with the sugar and everything. Let me speed things up. That way we can move along pretty quickly because you understand the cookie making process. All right, we're going to have a total of 1.5 cups of sugar. I use about 3/4 cup of white sugar and then 3/4 cup of brown sugar. You can just use white sugar if you prefer, but I would not recommend just using brown sugar. I'm just going to kind of get the sugar mixed in with the butter a little bit because my hand mixture is kind of on its last leg. So this will make it so that it'll get started mixing up quicker. Now we're going to start just using the mixer, getting it mixed up really good, get that sugar and butter all creamed together. Next, it's time to crack an egg. Get that egg in there. Got to add a little bit of my homemade vanilla. By the way, I'll link to a recipe for making homemade vanilla in the description of this video, so be sure and check that out. There's a 1.5 cups of flour in there. It didn't just appear in the bowl. I did put it in there. I just forgot to film it. So now I'm adding a 1/2 teaspoon of salt and a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. And I'm going to get all of that mixed in really good. And I also have to add a 1/4 cup of water. I always forget to do that, to add water in my recipe. So I a lot of times have to go back in and do it. But that was a 1/4 cup of water. And I'm just getting this mixed really, really good. And then the last step is going to be to add 3 cups of oatmeal. There's 1, 2, 3. Get that mixed up really good. And then we have the dough. Next, I'm going to wrap the oatmeal cookie dough in some wax paper, because that really is the trick for me as far as making the cookies just the way I like them. I like to put it in little rolls in the wax paper and then refrigerate it for a few hours. And then when I come back, I can just slice it up and put it on a baking sheet and bake them. If I want to bake them all at once, I can, or I can save some in the freezer. Anyway, is fine. But anyway, I'm just going to get these rolled up and get them ready to put in the refrigerator. All right, I'm going to put these 4 rolls in this baking tray, And I'm just going to go ahead and pop these in the refrigerator, like I said, for a few hours. And then I'll be back later this evening and get these baked up. And they're going to be delicious. Alrighty. Let's get some of these portioned up and on the baking sheet, and we'll get them baked. I've got the oven at 350. Now, earlier you saw me roll these up and put them in wax paper. Oh, look, this one has gotten shorter. I think this means someone has snuck some cookie dough from that. Well, I guess technically the word is sneaked. I don't care. We say snuck because that just sounds normal. Anyway, but what I like about this is you have your rolls of cookie dough. You can only take out as many as you need to bake at a time. You can bake them all if you want to. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bake up one of these rolls right now. And then the rest I'm going to put back in the fridge. I might actually end up freezing them because you can do that. I'm not going to just freeze them in the wax paper though. If I freeze them, I'll put them in a gallon size freezer bag and wrap them up kind of tight. But I'll probably refrigerate them overnight and then make up my mind about that tomorrow. But in any case, let me go ahead and get these portioned up and get them on the cookie sheet and get them in the oven. These are going to bake up and they're going to be a nice, good size, perfect for dunking in a glass of milk. So let me get these in the oven and I'll bring you back as soon as they're done. They're going to bake for probably about, I don't know, probably about 12 or 13 minutes. See how they look? Hopefully they're done. Oh my goodness. Look at there, y'all. Don't they look good? Let me get these off of the pan and on a little cooling rack. I think I'm gonna just get a small cooling rack for right now. Look at this cookie. It's nice and brown on the bottom, but yet it's still tender. If I left it to cook longer, it would be a little bit more crispy if you like that. But also, just letting them cool a lot of times will crisp them up. So, I cannot wait to dig into these. These are so good. These are so good, y'all. And you know what? I feel good having these for breakfast. So I might go ahead and bake up another dozen so we can have some for breakfast in the morning. And I've got some for my mom. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you make these cookies. You can put in chocolate chips or raisins or nuts or whatever. Or you can just have them like me. Just delicious, good old plain oatmeal cookies. I might have to do chocolate chip cookies another time, but there's nothing special. I used the recipe on the back of the Nestle Toll House chocolate chip cookie bag. So anyway, oh, these are so good. These are kind of chewy. You have a nice, a really nice chewy texture. I love it. So anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you haven't already, subscribe. Lots more good content coming up. Go back and check through the library of videos that I already have. Maybe you'll find something that interests you. Thanks so much for watching. See you again soon. Bye-bye.